Hi there, welcome to 5-Minute Abs. We have 5 exercises for 1 minute each, no rest. We're starting off with a leg raise plus a reverse crunch. So lie down on your back, keep your legs straight and raise them up until your feet are just above your hips, and then use your abs to push yourself up off the ground in a reverse crunch. Lower your hips back down to the ground and then lower your legs until they're about 2 inches off the ground, then repeat. Make sure that when you're raising and lowering your legs from and to the ground, your lower back is staying on the ground, in contact the whole time, so really keep those abs tight. When you're crunching your abs and pushing your hips up, you can also push down with your arms into the ground for a little bit more leverage. Just try to avoid using the momentum from the first part of the exercise to push your legs up. You want the motion to be initiated from your abs. If it's too difficult to bring your legs all the way back down to the ground, just bring them as far down as you can while keeping your lower back in contact with the ground. Remember, keep your legs as straight as possible and avoid using momentum. You want your abs to feel that crunch. So feet directly over your hips, not over your head, and then contract those abs, crunch up and back down. You're doing great. Keep it up for a few more seconds. Our next exercise is going to be a side plank star. If the side plank star is too difficult for you, you can just hold a regular side plank from your hand for a little bit less, or from your elbow for a little bit more. If you're doing the side plank star, lift that top leg up off the ground. Try to keep your heels higher than your toes and lift it straight out to the side or even slightly behind you, so that you're really contracting your glutes, or just your TFL, but you definitely don't want to be using your hip flexors for this. Hold this position, keeping your hips up and your shoulders stacked one on top of the other. Try to internally rotate your top leg so that your heel is a little bit higher than your toes. That will also help deactivate your hip flexor. Great job. Keep it up for a few more seconds, and remember, keep your shoulders stacked. Avoid using your hip flexor, so raise your foot straight out to the side or slightly behind you, and hips high off the ground. Great job, and now we're coming into the other side, a side plank star, same thing, or just a side plank if the star is too much for you. That's perfectly fine, and you can always come back tomorrow and try it again. If you're doing the star, raise that top leg off the ground, keeping your hips high. Remember to keep your heel at the same height or slightly higher than your toes. Shoulders stacked, facing directly to the side, and keep your hips up high. If you find that you can't hold this position, just hold a regular side plank. That's perfectly fine too. Just a few more seconds here. Remember to keep that leg high, hips high, shoulders stacked, pushing yourself away from the ground and keeping space in your shoulder. Great job. Next up we have a dead bug. So again, for this you're going to lie on your back. Start with your arms and legs straight overhead, knees bent, and then you're going to extend your arms and legs. Try to get them as close to the ground as you can, and then bring them back together. Remember, you want your lower back in contact with the ground the entire time, so only lower your arms and legs as far as you can while keeping your lower back on the ground. If this is still a little bit too difficult, just extend one leg at a time, so both arms and one leg extend, then bring everything together, and then both arms and the other leg extend. That'll make it a little bit easier, but it's super important to keep your back on the ground just to protect it and prevent injury, so make sure your abs stay tight. Awesome job. Just a few more seconds here, and just checking in, remember that your lower back is still in contact with the ground. You're almost done with this one. Good job, and now we're moving into our last exercise. This is the last minute, and we're going to do an in-out plank step. So come into a plank position on your hands, or for a little bit more difficulty, or if your wrists are bothering you, you can also do this on your elbows. Make sure you're in a nice straight plank position, and step out to the side with one foot, then out with the other, in with the first, and in with the second. Alternate sides, so step out with the other leg, out, in, and in. Going back and forth like this for 1 minute. Make sure you're maintaining that plank position, so don't let your lower back sag toward the ground, keep your abs tight, and keep your hips tucked. You want your body in one straight line. Also remember to push the ground away from you so you're keeping space in your shoulders, and you want your hands directly below your shoulders. Keep your head up. You're doing great, just a few more seconds of this. And remember that straight plank position. Lower back up, ribcage tucked, hips tucked. You're almost done. Awesome job, and that's it for 5-minute abs. You did great. Let me know in the comments which of these exercises you felt the best contraction of your abs. If you'd like to see more fitness content like this, subscribe to my channel, and thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.